So this is a question for the freshwater optional theme A, structured questions. And so answer the following question. So you must answer, all of these structured if you choose freshwater, which you should be choosing because you've studied it as an optional theme. So refer to the maps on page 2 of the accompanying resource booklet. It tells us that the maps show the growth of algae in a water lake where eutrophication is occurring. Algae growth is caused by a high level of nutrients. So it tells us that. And A, identify two changes between 2003 and 2011 along the southern shore of the lake between Sandusky and Cleveland. So let's have a look at the insert for this. There we go. So what we can see here, we've got compass direction. Always look to see what's available. Yep, that's 2003, 2011. We've got a scale there. Gives an idea about the size of the area affected. And then we've got this key with the major rivers, cities, and the level of algae level from low to high. So identifying two of these changes. So first of all, we can see that it now covers a much larger area. You could actually give some quantification for that. So you could sort of like, try and work out if you wanted using the scale how much of an area it is covered now. I mean, look at that. It's basically about 3 to 400 meters inland, whereas before in 2003 it was just basically along the coastline. So it covers a much larger area. The second point is that the area that is covered has a much higher concentration level of algae, and those would be the best two. Okie dokie. On to the next question. So, outline one environment. Oh, sorry, let's go to the paper. Where are we? Let's go to the paper. Okay, here we go. So, outline one environmental problem caused by eutrophication. So, this is a 2-mark question. Right. So, let's go to the mark scheme for this because it does give us an idea about what they are expecting. Let's go to your mark scheme. So you can see here that what's the problem? Well, you've got various options there. You've got fish die, declining biodiversity, creation of dead zones, excessive vegetation on the surface, which is obviously caused by the algae bloom. And it just wants some type of development. So the example here is fish die. This is due to the depletion of oxygen in the water, something like that. Okay, declining biodiversity. As you get, an increase in algae on the surface. Essentially, what it does is it kills off some of the plants underneath it because it's blocking out the sunlight, and therefore those plants underneath can't survive. So that causes a decline in biodiversity. Okay, and you can do sort of like similar points, similar responses, similar style for the other two there. Okay, let's go on to the structured question here. And there we go. Like we had with the food and health, you've got another 3x3. So explain one human and one physical reason why some areas of a freshwater lake, such as this, experience high levels of eutrophication. So one human and one physical. Now, you sort of answered the human one pretty well. And a lot of you sort of like refer to agricultural activities. I mean, what you'll see here, like I said before, you want a 3-mark paragraph and then a separate 3-mark paragraph underneath. So what can we have? So let's take the human first. So, and I'm going to give an example of the human. So agricultural activities can cause eutrophication, and then you explain it. This is because fertilizers are put on the land. These contain phosphates and nitrates, which wash through the soil, go into the lake, and contribute to causing eutrophication. There's your we mentioned the other possible human reasons there. Let's go on to the one that wasn't as well answered, which was the physical ones. Now, physical. possible reasons why. So if we think back, we look back at that map actually. So these are the possibilities you've got. You've got drainage patterns, winds, storms, currents, hydrological flows, relief, depth and temperature of water. I think this is quite a tricky question, to be honest. So, the easiest one is probably when you let's go back to that map. If you have a look at it, let's have a look here. What we can see here is, lots of sort of like rivers draining into this area. Quite a lot there. Well, it's made four main ones, uh, even in the southern area around Sandusky and Cleveland. Now, let's have a look at what you could put for that. So you could put um, okay, lots of rivers are draining into the area of the southern area of the lake. Give some examples of those rivers. Um, Essentially, these will receive more inputs of dissolved nutrients in solution, and this creates or leads to, contributes to excessive algae growth from that part of the lake. That could be even things like maybe, some nutrients have gone into the water. Maybe it's even from agriculture, or maybe it's from industry. But what the water has done is contribute towards enabling those flows of nutrients to actually go into the lake, contributing to eutrophication. Hydrological flows could relate to things like, again, things like, the water supply, supply in the area, say rain, maybe like would contribute to washing those dissolved nutrients, normally from like chemical fertilizers, the nitrates and phosphates going through the soil, going or through down the rivers into the lake, and then contributing to eutrophication. Similarly, relief enables water to flow a lot faster, so these dissolved nutrients would flow down maybe through the soil or through the rivers into the lake, contributing to eutrophication. So something like that to get your 6 marks.